general. And then when we come to realize that, we ask the mother of these children. Then he called his brother. He said, now we are in Bentiu. We don't know who brought us to Bentiu. So can you ask somebody called Ruai Jock? Is the seller, the one who sells these children. You ask him why we are coming to Mayom instead of Uganda. And then the person who is there, when he learned that the children are now communicating with the person who sells them, and then he said that, okay, I pay 10 million. These 10 million are my money. Can you bring that person who took my 10 million and gave me these children? And then Roy went back to Walgak, need to collect other children to sell them. And then Roy was arrested. Now he's in custody of Walgak, a police custody. He's arrested, and we are communicating with Bentiu also to bring that general. This is an offense, a child trafficking, and it is the first time for Nuer to sell children.
So these children were taken from areas of Jonglei State to Bentiu for sale.
Yes.
6 children sold at 10 million South Sudanese pounds. This person who is selling the children, how do you describe him?
The person is not a soldier, is a civilian. Mm-hmm. This civilian is originated from Walgak. His name is called Ruai Jock Bath. This is a son of Walgak, and all the community of Walgak knows him. He's working in Juba for almost 8 years during this crisis. That is why he went and convened the community to collect these children, because they know that he's working in Juba, he has money to go and take these children to school.
So this general in Bentiu who bought the children at 10 million South Sudanese pounds. Tell us about this general, and are these the first children he bought from Jonglei State or elsewhere in South Sudan?
Yes, the general is from police service, South Sudan Police Service. He is Major General, who is now a director, Mayom County. He is holding a big position at South Sudan Police Service. I have his name, even his contact. So these details are here with us. And then I will forward all the details, even the name of the children. All are in my record. So it is a general of police service, not a retired general. He is still in active list of police service.
Honorable William Kuol Chuol, this is a very interesting story. 6 children sold at 10 million. Very, very interesting. It's a child trafficking, as you put it, and it's punishable under South Sudan laws. What message do you have for the general, and what message do you have for the authorities in Unity State?
Yeah, my message to Unity State, and they say that the process is very low. It needs the intervention of governors. My message to Mayom, there is no Nuer to buy the children of Nuer and keep them in his custody. So the only advice is for general to release these children peacefully without any condition of saying that he wants to get back his 10 million. The only solution for him to continue serving South Sudan is to release these 6 children and send them back to Juba to Walgak.
And what does he do with the children? Is he keeping the children as his own, or he keeps the children as slave in the house, or does he want to sell the children to someone else within the country or outside?
It's not clear to me, but what I know, because I talked to the woman who is together with the children. Mm-hmm. He told me that he's keeping these children as his children. But they say that we are fearing life, and then we are bowed down to the general to serve us. And then he's taking care for these children, giving them food, everything.
One would be wondering if they're in good health, if they are being sexually harassed, or if they are just safe.
According to them, they are safe, There is no any history of harassment because the general is keeping them as his children. He bought them with 10 million. What the problem is, what we don't know, the general demand 10 million back. If these children need to be taken back, unless the family of these children pay us 10 million. This is the condition. We don't know if we fail to pay him 10 million, what will happen?
Looking at this situation, do you have a special warning for the mothers out there in the communities, how they hand over their children to people they think are relatives or maybe members of the community, to take them outside for school? This is the situation that happened across the world. People would come and deceive you that they want to take your child for school or they want to take you to work. And the end result is trafficking. You're being sold or your body parts got sold. Do you have a special message to the mothers and to the people in our communities across South Sudan?
One was done by this person is because they consider him as the relative who will support these children. Let us not trust everybody moving on the road and tell you that I'm the right person to keep the children. This is a warning and this is an example for Jonglei State people to know this incident that happened in Walgak should not happen in any area of Jonglei or in South Sudan as a whole. Because child trafficking or human trafficking is a crime internationally and also nationally. In our constitution is not allowed. Let us protect and let us recognize the crime done by that person, the seller and buyers.
Jonglei State Minister for Gender, Child and Social Welfare, William Kuol Chuol, ended that interview with Radio Mirai's regional correspondent, Mahat Samuel. The second batch of commissioners from the 10 states and 3 administrative areas are receiving a training on how to end and prevent violations against children associated with armed. The 6 grave violations includes use of children in the armed conflict, killing, maiming, and others. The National Coordinator for Child DDR at the National DDR Commission, Oluku Andrew Holt, says commissioners play a big role as they are authorities in the county level. Oluku added that everyone needs to take part in preventing use of children in armed conflict. More in this interview with Tidio Betty.
This workshop has been a series of workshops for the last almost 5 years that we've been doing kind of this. This is a capacity building on child protection. The targets, we are targeting various stakeholders. We've been having workshops with military justice, the commanders, division commanders, the students, media houses, okay, union of journalists. We have with paramount chiefs, with county commissioners. Actually, this workshop is for county commissioners. You know, we have a huge, we have number of counties, 79. But we couldn't bring them all at the same time. So last month, November, we had workshop for about 40 of them, and now we brought the last group. Those one who were notable actually to come because of flood, getting them logistic became a problem. But finally, thank God, today they are here. So this workshop basically for 2 days. We start today, day 13, and we are finishing tomorrow.
Well, you mentioned that you started about some years ago. So since this kind of workshop started, have you seen any change in relation to issues of children in armed conflict?
Great. We have been building the capacity of the various stakeholders. We are actually looking at how to implement, how to end grave violations. And this is related in conflict. We have 6 grave violations, killing and maiming, and this is caused by conflict. Recruitment and use of children, we have rape and sexual violence, we have attacks against the school and hospital, we have abduction, denial of humanitarian access. Now, look, we had some released, and I believe, Tidio, you follow this, that some children have been released from the armed forces or armed groups. And and who are those to identify? It's a process to get the children out. It's a process. It's not just a matter of releasing them, but you need also to first to identify them. Who can identify them? these are those one who are on the ground, and normally those outside there who are victim, vulnerable. So it brought a lot of change. Now, if practically for the last 1 year, we have not conducted any release, maybe with some few of some children who move with the trainees to the training centers or at the cantonment that we release them. So we are seeing changes because what we are doing is sending very strong message that children need not to be recruited and used.
Now that you're training the commissioners, what role do you think the commissioners can play in their respective counties in this issue?
One, the information that we are sharing here, okay? They go out with this information. They might have not known that the interaction of children with military is wrong. So we are here to educate them. So when they are sensitized, made aware, they will go out and identify that no, this has been wrong. Then they will be able to adjust on that.
What are some of the challenges that you go through when it comes to issues of children in relation to conflict?
Well, challenges are enormous. As government is so committed to support this, to see that children are protected. We invest in children through education. But you know, with our current situation, one is term of resources. Actually, basically, even this training, we are fully supported by the UN country task force, the UNICEF and UNIMIS. Bringing in our participants, flying them to Juba, accommodating them and feeding them and so on. Now take the issue of children. By the way, we have a number of children who wanted to go to school. But outside there, we see school around Juba, Malakal, Tori, Wow and so on. But if you go deep to the remotest area of South Sudan, there are parents who have never seen the school. So these are the things. Some are school dropout. If they want to go back to school, where can we take them? The communities are not able to afford. We have a lot of natural disasters, things to do with flood, and so on.
And one of the sessions that will be that we will focus on in this workshop is the role of commissioners in preventing attack against school children and against schools and hospitals. How will commissioners work to do this?
They will, because they are actually the authority in the county. You know, commissioners are just like the president of the country. Take the county. County is just like a state. So who is above this? The county is the commissioner. So everything relies on them. They know what is good on the ground and what is bad. So we are here mentioning to them, especially the 6th grade violation. There are things within their county that are not going correct, and they with this information that they're getting here, that we sensitize them, educate them, they will be able to identify things which are not going wrong. Then they have to intervene for the rights of our children in this country.
What is your message to the public of South Sudan in relation to children in armed conflict?
Okay, this workshop, I said there are about 40 participants. So whoever hear this is not only the commissioners. All of you outside who are listening to me, you are the stakeholders. So you have a greater role to play. You might have not known it, but you need to know we are targeting the issue of ending 6th grade violations against our children. We must prevent or bring to an end the issue of killing and maiming that has been happening because of the conflict. And as I said, attack against the school need not to be occupied. A school does not mean a building. A school is where children are brought together. Could be under a tree. If it is meant for the school, should not be changed into the market. Our hospitals, this is health. There is no enemy, there is no friend, everybody needs good health. Then abduction, it has been happening in our country. So you are to prevent it, not that you have to come for this workshop, then you go and do it. This message must be that this is your role to play. The children are not to be recruited. Our constitution is very clear. The SPLA Act 2009 is very clear. The Child Act 2008, the DDR policy document, nobody below the age of 18 should be recruited into the army or used. Rape and sexual violence, the paramount, the commissioners, the families, anybody below the age of 18 should not be married off because of wealth. We need to change the image of this country. We send our girls, daughters to the school for better future of this country. Girls must not be raped. They should be mature and choose where they want to go. Humanitarian access, as authority on the ground, as community on the ground, don't block, allow, if it is not meant for your location.
The National Coordinator for Child DDR at the National DDR Commission, Oluku Andrew Holt, ending that interview with Mariah Studio Betty.
Nationwide, time for talk.
The Minister of Wildlife Conservation and Tourism is assuring enabling environment for tourists across South Sudan. The assurance follows a meeting this afternoon of the 40 Friends of Wildlife in the country, mostly ambassadors and UN agencies. The forum is a platform that works together with the government to identify challenges for the wildlife conservation and to explore opportunities on how to better support the government to address the issues. Whereas Philwane spoke to both the Deputy UN Special Representative of the Secretary General in South Sudan, Guang Kong, and Minister of Wildlife Service and Conservation, Rizik Hassan Zakaria, in this interview. Starting first with Deputy UN Special Representative of the Secretary General in South Sudan, Guang Kong.
This forum is really the platform for the international community to work together with the governments, with the UN and armies to identify challenges for the wildlife conservation and also to explore the opportunities, how to better support the governments to address this issue. And South Sudan apparently is blessed with a huge potential of the wildlife conservation, and that's why the whole international community is fully committed to provide the support to the governments in this regard.
Having identified the challenges, what's the way forward?
Actually, many bilateral discussions have been taking place between the Honorable Minister with the different embassies and even the international organizations. And, the partners, they are working on the opportunities where we can support the governments. And we are expecting more concrete results will be coming out soon.
And within the context of the meeting, we, on our side, as the Minister of Wildlife Conservation and Tourism, we have briefed, stated before the gathering, the opportunities, strengths, and the plans and the way forward, which we have developed through our policy framework. And within that context, also, we have reiterated other parts which are being achieved and supported, because, for instance, now, through the Friends of Wildlife, now we have managed to establish partnership with African parks, and also embassies, like 3 embassies, extending their willingness to partner with the ministry in terms of capacity buildings and technical support. And also we convene meetings with the World Bank and other entities. I think this forum is quite healthy, and it's the healthiest ever body that we have partnered with. And through this, I think we will be seeing the light soon. Even though the participants of this forum, they have expressed their status and ideas about some challenges that they are facing on the ground, like the challenges from the securities in terms of preventing the tourists from not taking photos on the ground, and some other challenges that may affect or deter the tourists not to visit South Sudan. On our side, we have assured them that is the mandate and sole forces of the ministry, so that at least to wipe the internal challenges which may come from our partners, as well as they have reflected on the issues of poaching and some other serious matters which may affect the sector. Otherwise, the meeting was fruitful and successful, and we are looking forward, as it was being resolved, that these meetings will be quarterly, which means after every 3 months we will be gathering so that we sort out the progress, areas of progress, areas of challenges, and how should we join our hands for the promotion of the sector.
One of the challenges being, of course, liberty of tourists, as you answered, and again, promotion about the sector and also the communities out there, those who are poaching. What message are you sending out there?
Critically thinking, let me be frank with you, tourism and wildlife aspects management were not a priority in the country, as the country has witnessed very protracting conflicts which have been shown up in terms of insecurities. And also the traumas of those lengthy conflicts have been deep-rooted within our communities, as well as some of our apparatus, security apparatus. That's why you may get a lot of preventions of not taking photos, of not approach other sites, but that would be our sole mandate.